Uncut Live Productions. Y'all know we gonna give y'all the news you can use straight like that, raw and uncut.
Young Lee got the sauce, boy.
Uncut Live Productions, your empowerment platform for the people. We keep it 100 on 1000. We will not be paused, edited, or muted. Whatever you see, hear, hey, the cards lay how they lay. And it just doesn't get no realer than that. Yours truly, y'all know who it is. It's your boy, Mr. Uncut. Welcome to another edition of Uncut Live Productions. Y'all know the mission of Uncut Live Productions is where we focus on mind, body, soul, spirit, faith, social issues, politics, community, you name it. As I always say, we keep it 100 on 1000. Whatever you see, hear, hey, cards lay how they lay. It just doesn't get no realer than that. Eyes on the community. Y'all know in the last previous episode, we had the beloved honorary guest, Miss Tanya Sweat, candidate running for Prince George's County, Maryland, or as they say, prestige, gorgeous Prince George's. On today's episode, though, we're not going to talk so much about Prince George's County. We're going to talk about the state of Maryland. Rumor has it on the street that Wes Moore, they say he's the plug. They say he is the only one that has what it takes to make the state of Maryland to the next level. Well, I don't like to mess individuals' resumes up, because the people that I bring onto the set, like I always say, y'all never know who's going to be here on the set. I like to bring the bangers, the winners, the people that's boots on the ground. And so without further, I'm going to ask this beloved guest to introduce who he is.
Absolutely.
Well, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for having me, for the invite, and for all the work that you do in the community. Genuinely, you told me a little bit about it before we started, and it's inspiring. So I appreciate it. And hopefully I can be a partner as a candidate and obviously as the hopeful next governor. But yeah, my name is Ashwani Jain. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a 32-year-old cancer survivor. I'm a son of immigrants and small business owners, and I'm a product of Maryland public schools. I've also been able to work in the public, private, and nonprofit sectors, including the Obama White House and 2 federal agencies. And I'm a candidate for Maryland governor.
Okay, so we're going to get it straight to the point.
Yeah, let's do it.
3 things that makes you the candidate.
Yeah, 3 things and 3 reasons why people should vote for me. Number 1, I'm the most accessible candidate. Number 2, I'm the most accountable candidate. And number 3, I'm the most transparent. So if you allow me, let me break that down. When I talk about accessibility, the fact that I'm the only governor candidate that guarantees 100% of my events are free and that I don't take a penny from developers, businesses, PACs, or polluters, and I'm the only governor candidate to spend 90% of my time meeting voters at their homes in all 24 counties consistently, I think that makes me more accessible. In terms of accountability, the fact that we are the first statewide campaign in America that is 100% crowdsourced, meaning we intentionally do not have any staff, we don't have any consultants. The entire campaign is built and run by residents from every age, every background in all 24 counties. So you can hold me accountable. And then the third reason is I'm fully transparent. We've shared the most detailed and comprehensive and fully paid for policy agenda. Even your phone agrees that we have the most transparent policy agenda that we shared a year and a half ago in January of 2021. And all 150 policies that we have were, again, not made by consultants. They were made by residents who were impacted by those decisions. And I think when you look at those aspects, that is something that people want in their leaders, and they definitely want it in their next governor.
Wow. So two things, if I might share with you, that I think is that's really pertinent.
Yeah.
The Maryland General Assembly has initiated the law to be established July the 1st for the counties, the police, the PAB.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's a real strong component of mine that I'm really passionate and concerned about.
Yeah.
And the second thing is I'm going to talk about this because believe it or not, I know Prince George's County, Maryland, as much as they want to put the lights, camera, action, the gorgeousness of it, we have an issue with homelessness, the unhoused population. I believe, according to the HUD report that I read for Prince George's County within itself, it is over 521 individuals that have been deemed as unhoused or homeless. And that's just Prince George's. But we know the real deal is a lot of those numbers are only what they can actually quantify.
Right.
But
right.
they're with the work that I do within the platform of Uncut Live and that We Take Care of Us Movement Coalition and the Hope Life Project that I do, we know that those numbers that's listed, they're not fully being represented. I know that there are some individuals in the Southern Maryland county individuals, town called Nanjamore. I don't know if you've
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
of course,
Nanjamore, the situation out there with a lot of the individuals who don't have, in the 21st century, fully updated plumbing. People that have to use buckets to use the bathroom. Just that. What is your position on when you look at the state of the PAB and the plight of the homelessness?
Yeah, so I kind of tackle those in two different aspects, right? So we have a criminal justice platform on my website, janeforgovernor.com, where I kind of go into those details of police accountability and how do we actually reform the entire criminal justice system. And then I have a separate housing platform, which again, we were the first statewide campaign to actually share a comprehensive housing platform. So if you allow me, maybe I'll tackle both. And then again, we can just have a conversation. But I'll tackle the housing question first, because I think that's something that we talked a little bit more about right now. I served as one of President Obama's White House liaisons at HUD, at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So I got to work with the housing secretary at the time and actually help build a team that worked on affordable housing throughout the state of Maryland, but also throughout the nation. And because of that, my housing plan has three parts to it, which I think will address a lot of these issues. I talk about increasing the affordability of housing, increasing availability, and increasing sustainability of housing. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means that we're going to look at the entire system in a comprehensive way. We have to increase eviction filing fees. We have to make sure that we provide immediate relief so that no one is being evicted, especially during times of crisis. We have to make sure that we have just cause protections in place. We got to make sure that there's no discrimination from landlords and tenants, whether they are women, people of color, people from the disability community, LGBTQ community, or veteran community that oftentimes get marginalized. We also have to make sure that we're having smart growth and mixed use development. So whenever we're building our towns and our cities, not just focus on single family housing, but multifamily housing and building closer areas of transit. Part of that ties into my Maryland Now plan to make public transit not only more available, but free for every Maryland resident. Making sure we have better inspections in place so that we actually can make sure that these buildings are upheld to a good standard of living. Making sure that you have AC units during the summer, you have heating during the winter. Things that a lot of us may take for granted, but a lot of residents don't actually have that, and they don't have any way to make their voice heard. So I think when you do all of those types of things, and you also make sure that folks have a better access to jobs, a reduced cost of living, more sustainable disposable income, that's how we start to move past some of these systemic issues that we're having. When it comes to criminal justice, and again, it's a whole different platform that I have, but again, it's looking at everything comprehensively. So that means ending the money bail system, ending extreme sentences for children, actually having independent oversight for all of our law enforcement agencies, removing SROs in our public schools, and replacing them with either school security personnel that are hired by the local school board, and also more guidance counselors and psychologists. Making sure that we actually continue the end of for-profit prison contracts at the state, so we're not just warehousing people. Making sure that we're preparing those who have been incarcerated for life outside of jail. Making sure we legalize marijuana and expunge records. And making sure that we actually treat opioid and drug use as a public health crisis, not as a crime. So decriminalizing scheduled drugs, and instead of sending you to prison because you have personal possession of cocaine, heroin, or meth, we're going to send you to a locally and fully funded rehab center. So I think all of those things, it's not just about holding officers accountable, but it's looking at the entire system so that we actually get to the root causes of why we keep having these issues in every single election.
Yeah, well, and that, and you just hit something, because you know they talk about this in social work, the causes.
Yeah.
The causes and effect to, we're seeing poverty. Poverty within itself, it should not be a thing where we are criminalizing those that are in poverty. I feel, because I have seen this, boots on the ground, I've seen it where many individuals, due to them not having access to get into a shelter, because one is either not available. I have seen individuals get charged with trespass warrants. They may just be sitting at a bus stop because they have nowhere to go. There's no warming facility, there's no cooling facility for them to go. So they're put into a place where it's by an officer or law enforcement or whomever or whoever may say, hey, I need you to come, get this individual. And then that person, once that person is charged with a trespass warrant for or loitering or whatnot, that makes it very hard for an individual to be able to get connected. Once they are connected with a social worker or caseworker or a transitional program to get them rehabilitated. If they have that charge on their record, it's going to make it very hard. I know what they say, there's expungements. Expungements don't guarantee that jobs will take the individual. I know it's so much to really talk about and to really address as it relates to the state of Maryland, education. The PAB happens to just be very passionate about. I'm very passionate about that, because when you look at what's happening, like you said, so unapologetically speaking, we've got to create a system that stops one from getting tied up into the criminal affairs. That's just how I feel about it.
We have to stop the school to prison pipeline. We have to make sure that we have accountability in place. And we have accountability in every other field, but somehow our criminal justice system was left alone. And there's reasons for that, right? We have to make sure that we're stopping the warehousing of folks. We have to make sure that folks who have substance abuse or mental health issues are actually not just being, sent to jail, but again, we're addressing it at its root cause. We're getting them the help they need. We have to make sure we stop the discrimination in the labor market by removing the box that asks if you're formerly incarcerated, by also making sure that if you've done your time, that we can connect you with employment service offices, workforce development programs to help you build a resume, help with interview preparation. And another part of what my big program is called the Maryland Now Plan, it's going to make sure that if you're unable to find work anywhere, whether because you're being discriminated against or anything else, at the very least, the state government will step in and serve as the employer of last resort. So this is what I'm calling a guaranteed jobs program. It's going to be the first of its kind in the nation, but it's going to allow folks to help get back on their feet, help develop their skills. They can stay in those state jobs for forever if they want, or we can help them transition into a job in another sector, another field. But in that way, we're able to help them in a more sustainable way, not just putting a Band-Aid on the solution. And finally, as governor, making sure that in the budget that I propose, I have dedicated funding for nonprofits and community-based organizations that are helping house those who are chronically homeless, that are helping take care of those mental health issues or get them permanent housing or supporter housing. All of those things tie in together, but it's about who are you electing to be in those positions. Can they be held accountable? Are they accessible? Are they looking at the issue comprehensively? And are they actually prioritizing the residents themselves, not just donors?
And then one of the things you just touched on, but I want to also, because I know time is getting wind up, there needs to be something that is created to where competency for those who are looking to start a nonprofit to help eradicate some of the systemic issues, because I don't think there's enough emphasis or focus. So there are individuals that have the knowledge or have the will, the drive to do certain things. I know that there are individuals that are actually doing the work without a nonprofit. But if they were given the ability to be provided with the necessary education, that they would establish a nonprofit. Because I hate to say this, but unfortunately, there are what I like to call subtle categories. There are those that are politically engaged, and then there are those that are not politically engaged.
Right.
The ones that are not politically engaged may not be politically engaged for various reasons. The ones that are politically engaged, they're politically engaged maybe due to, I don't know, I hate to say it, but maybe because they've just been granted that opportunity, the money, the greed, or whatever. But there are a lot of individuals that are doing the groundwork, the boots on the ground, and they're not doing it because they're a politician. They're not doing it because they're a nonprofit. They're just doing it because they have the drive. They're being led, and I would love to be able to see something that is not just Maryland for some, but a Maryland for all. That we're giving all individuals the same opportunities to excel. I've had a young man who told me, said that, hey, do I have to get in trouble in order to get help? And what I mean by that, he was saying, do I have to go out here and steal something? Do I have to go out here and commit a crime in order to get the necessary help? We got to change that, because that can't be the notion that in order to get help, that one feels that they are only going to be able to get a cop if they're thrown into prison. Or at least they get a cop, or at least they get... That cannot be what the type of message that we're sending here in the state of Maryland.
100% agree.
So, one more time for the viewers, you just tell people how to plug in, how they can follow you, what it is that they can do. And I will be very honest to say I am highly delighted of the fact of you just taking the time out of your schedule to come down here on the set, to be amongst the people. I have reached out to several of the other candidates, no response. But the fact of the matter is that you have responded well. That says a lot about who you are and what it is that you have to offer. So for the audience, just tell the audience how they can get involved. Was July the 19th?
Yeah, so the election is July 19th. That's the primary. I'm one of 10 Democrats running for governor. But honestly, every position, everything from the local school board, county council, delegate, state senate, comptroller, attorney general, Congress. This is a really, really important election year. So please make sure you're registered to vote. And I humbly ask for your support, but it's a partnership. Anyone can go to jainforgovernor.com. That's JAINFOR governor.com. We don't ask you to fundraise. We ask for you to build a partnership. If you want to help expand our policies, if you want to help with strategy or outreach, just connect some of the dots, or just have a one-on-one with me, I'm happy to make the time to do so. And on my website, you can find the entire details of my resume, my background, my experience, and every single policy is fully laid out in great detail. Everything is comprehensive, everything is fully paid for, and everything about this campaign is run by residents. And that is going to continue not only to win the primary, it's going to help us win the general and help us govern sustainably and more equitably, which I think is what we're missing time and time again, and that's what we're trying to change.
All right. Well, hopefully before July the 19th, I can get you back on the set one more time, just one more time. I know you're busy in the campaign. I've had my phone was going off, and so individuals just had some other questions and some things that they would like to be able to discuss with you. So hopefully, the powers that be, we can get you on the set one more time before July the 19th.
Absolutely.
All right, now, y'all. Y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here. Y'all know what it is. Get out there, get active, get involved, get engaged. We cannot just sit on the sidelines and do nothing. We got to get engaged. We got to get from the sidelines. We got to get out of the audience, and we got to get in the game. If we want change for the state of Maryland, y'all heard it here. Your boy, Mr. Uncut Live Productions. We giving it to you right here. Straight, raw, the real deal, uncut, unfiltered, unscripted. You heard the beloved. Hey, all I gotta say is, y'all, let's make action. It's game time, y'all. As I always say, you just been plugged in with your boy, Mr. Uncut. Y'all go out and make it a great day. Peace.